You know that feeling, right? That little knot in your stomach when you have to hire someone to work on your home? I mean, you're literally trusting a stranger with your biggest investment, and the fear of getting it wrong, well, it's very real. So today, we're going to dive deep into one potential solution to that exact problem. A system of extreme contractor vetting that's all about building confidence from the ground up.
This mission statement, from the material we're looking at, really gets to the heart of it. The relationship between homeowners and contractors can feel like it's built on a pretty fragile foundation. What we're exploring here is a model that wants to fundamentally rebuild that trust, to move past just simple online reviews and toward a standard of quality you can actually verify.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll touch on the crisis of trust in the industry. Then, we'll introduce this extreme vetting idea as a solution. After that, we'll go inside its 7-stage process, see what it all looks like for a homeowner, and finally ask the big question: could this become the new standard for hiring?
Let's be honest, hiring a contractor can feel like a total gamble. You're worried about the money, about projects going way over budget, or even worse, just shoddy work that's going to cost you a fortune to fix later. Trying to sort through online reviews and just relying on what a friend of a friend said, it can feel like you're navigating a minefield, and it's almost impossible to know who's really a reliable pro.
Okay, so in response to this whole confidence crisis, some folks are proposing a much more rigorous system. We're going to use one organization from our source material, Make Contractors Great Again, as a kind of case study. They've built their entire company around a process they call extreme vetting to try and solve this exact problem. So what even is extreme vetting? Well, it's not just a quick background check and calling it a day. Think of it more like a comprehensive, top-to-bottom audit of a contractor's entire professional life, from their legal paperwork all the way to how they actually perform on the job. And the model we're looking at is really built on these 3 pillars. You've got the extreme vetting process, which is the foundation, but then it's also supported by an internal Attorney General program for accountability and a community-driven approach to keep standards high. For this explainer, though, we're going to focus in on that first, super crucial pillar, the vetting process itself. All right, now let's pull back the curtain and see how this whole thing actually works. This is where the idea goes from just a promise to a real process. We're going to walk through the 7 distinct stages that a contractor has to get through to even be considered.
These 7 stages are a complete journey. It kicks off with simple automated checks, but then it goes all the way to continuous, long-term monitoring. So you see, it's not just one hurdle they have to jump over. It's an entire gauntlet, really, designed to filter for quality and reliability at every single step.
So the process starts from the ground up. Stages 1 and 2 are all about the fundamentals, beginning with automated background scans. But then, a human team steps in. And here's the key part. It's all about direct verification. They don't just glance at an insurance certificate, they actually call the carrier to make sure it's active. They don't just take a license number, they check it with the state licensing board.
Now this is where the review gets really deep. They don't just call past customers. Get this, they also call the contractors suppliers. And you might be asking, why? Well, it's to see if they pay their bills on time. That's a huge indicator of a stable, well-run business. And then that's followed up by a live interview to see for themselves how knowledgeable and professional they really are. And what's really crucial here is that the process doesn't just stop once a contractor gets approved. No way. The system has optional on-site job inspections, a signed code of ethics, and, this is the most important part, continuous monitoring. Through customer feedback and even random spot checks, they make sure the standards are kept high long after that initial vetting is done.
Okay, so that's the intense, behind-the-scenes work. But what does all that heavy lifting actually mean for you, the homeowner who just needs to get their kitchen remodeled? Let's take a look at the end result.
This number, it pretty much says it all. The point isn't to create some massive phone book of contractors. The point is to create an exclusive one. By capping the listings at just 3 contractors per zip code, the whole system is signaling an incredibly high bar for entry. It's not about giving you more choices. It's about giving you better, pre-vetted ones.
So what this really means is that intense 7-stage internal process, you never even see it. From the homeowner's point of view, it's just a simple 4-step flow. All that complexity is handled for you, turning a super rigorous verification system into a simple, confidence-building way to hire someone. So, you know when you see a system that's this thorough, it just naturally leads to a bigger question. Could this kind of deep dive verification become the new baseline, the new normal for the entire home services industry?
Let's just put it side by side. The old way, it leans really heavily on word of mouth and maybe a quick license check. It's a one-time thing with a lot of guesswork. But the extreme vetting way? It verifies everything at the source, does a deep review of past work, and keeps an eye on them with continuous monitoring. The difference in the level of diligence is, well, it's night and day. And that kind of leaves us with this final thought to chew on. In an age where we can verify almost anything online, is this level of detailed, ongoing scrutiny really an extreme measure anymore? Or is it maybe the new minimum we should all expect when we're trusting someone with our homes and our investments? It's a pretty compelling question to think about.